Thank you for staying with us. There's no respite yet in the crisis rocking public universities in Nigeria as the striking lecturers appear poised for a lasting showdown. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, has extended its ongoing strike embarked upon more than 5 months ago by another 4 months, 4 weeks. 4 weeks, I beg your pardon. This followed the inability of the federal government to implement a memorandum of action entered by the two parties in 2020. The national president of ASUU, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, said the decision to extend the strike is to enable government to resolve all outstanding issues. It's like no retreat, for the members of the Academic Staff Union of universities, and it's not looking good on behalf of the federal government, on the part of federal government, in the sense that after 5 months, adding 4 months, so we can say successfully that this student might lose a calendar year, academic 5 months, 4 months, as in the whole of 2020. 2022 might just go the way of 2020.
Yeah, it's a sobering story. We had to clarify what the president said here the other day, because many people thought the president issued an ultimatum to the
Minister of Education,
the absentee Minister of Education. But the president, the minders have denied that he issued an ultimatum to him to find a solution. And
does it make it better, Judy?
It's not. Those who understand these issues, in my view, those who understand these issues the most are the vice chancellors of the universities. They know how the universities are run. They know the funding capability of each university. And they've come out to tell us that only the president can take the decisions that will end this strike. Only the president can say disenroll academic staff and even non-academic staff in the universities from IPPIS. The VCs made that point clear. They spoke through the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Ogundikpe. They said only the president. So,
like a will that big
is
power.
the one who can. This decision is beyond Adamu. A decision that would entail a supplementary budget in excess of 200 billion. Adamu cannot take it. Neither can my friend, the little man,
Dr. Chris
Ngige, take that kind of decision. Let's not kid ourselves. The president.
This is the first time I'll be getting this angle.
But
we don't know. Because when people see, they say it's Ngige and Adamu.
Ngige can, even on his own, I'm not saying that Ngige is chummy with ASUU. Of course, at this point, if you say Ngige is chummy with ASUU, people will ask, are you okay? They will ask that question, are you okay? Are you okay? They will ask that question. It's not chummy. They are not happy with him. They think that, he's siding government.
It's part of the system. That
yes,
is
they believe that he's siding government and all that. But these decisions, those two issues that they are asking for, renegotiation of the 2009 agreement, which will mean that they will all receive salary jumps. Their salaries will go up, as recommended by the professor, the Briggs, Dr. Neme Briggs.
It might require a supplementary budget.
Of course. And Falana has suggested to the president, ask for supplementary budget of 200 billion. But the finance minister has said that what they're asking for will be in the region of 500 billion, higher than Falana's projection. Now, is that a decision that Adamu can take? Is that a decision that Chris Ngige can take? No matter how they feel about these things, those decisions are beyond their powers. So it's the president that we have to appeal to because he's the one who can take this decision. And there's something that the university lecturers said that struck me. They said, since there is no sign of any serious commitment on the part of government, there is no need for the NEC to consider suspending the strike. Can anybody say this is what government is offering? They were the ones who set up the BRICS committee and they jettisoned the report. Let us assume we are asking for too much, which is not even the situation. Is it not that the government will come up with his offers and we will deliberate whether to accept or not? That is the thing. I said this even I think on Sunday that look, let us, if they are asking for so much that you can't afford, you as Mr. President will just say, gentlemen, I'm your father. This is how far I can go. I can't go up to this point. Everyone in Nigeria who is a patriot knows that we are going through a lot. This is a fact. We are going through a lot. So people will make sacrifices at their different levels. You will make, I will make. That's how you build a nation. But to refuse to negotiate is not something that I see as sensible enough.
Paul, some people will say that it's worth it and it's more than expedient for the president to sit down with these people now. Now that the buck stops in the stable, now that his minister might not be able to take these big decisions, that Mr. President should show that he's like hands-on and he has expressed sympathy for this union, a couple of times. So, what do you think?
Absolutely. I love the expression you use. It's more than expedient for the president to deal with these issues himself, because it's obvious, it's apparent that it's beyond a decision that these ministers, the Minister of Education and the Minister of Labor, can actually handle. My worry is that the president, in his characteristic go-slow manner, does not appear to be doing anything. What even bothers me is that while it is true that the president did not give an ultimatum, according to the statement issued by one of his spokesmen, it was said that the minister said they should give him certain number of weeks to come up with something. Now, if we are saying the minister is not his decision to make, what can he do within those weeks? That's number one. Number two, another reason why this strike keeps lingering is the fact that ASUU, the government is not also known. ASUU does not know, or all of us don't know the government to be committed to agreements. So there has to be concrete evidence that government, even when it comes up with offers, it's going to actually keep to its word. Because this, I just wonder why this has to go on. I mean, it's scandalous. It's a scandal that the universities, a very important subsector of the education sector is on strike. 6 months, going to 6 months, right? And it's going to extend, linger for another 4 weeks. I think the president has to show that he's a leader. And it says a lot about the importance he attaches to education. For me, I think his manners are very insouciant, it's very flippant about it. He should be able to rise up and show leadership.
The fallout of this is that these students, most of them, they will lose the service here. They've already lost several call-ups and everything. And like CKN was saying on Sunday, that the number of years it takes you to go to a private university and the number of years it takes you to actually determine, in a public university, it is not so good that if you want to go for, like law, to spend 5 years, but if it's this government university, you might end up spending 7 years.
But there is nothing we can do. We have to fix the public university system. Only 5% of the population actually go to private universities.
5%?
Yes. There was a survey that showed just about 5%. So if we think that the average Nigerian can pay 800,000 on the average, in some private universities to read medicine, you will pay in excess of 2 million per session. So how many people can afford that? we have no choice. We have to fund the public universities sufficiently. We have to provide their needs. A lot of the people today who are hitting their heads against the wall over ASUU, they went to public universities. Their parents were not rich. Their parents were not rich.
I can't even remember what was the private university when they established in
just
Nigeria.
because Nigerians, when it comes to history, our people are very weak, very defective. We even a sense of very recent history, a lot of us don't have. A lot of us don't have. So people need to be reminded that the people who are ministers today, they are products of the public university system. Today, a good number of them may not see any wisdom in putting their children in the same universities that made them who they are, the same universities that turned them to human beings, that turned them to adults in the real sense of the word. They are sending children abroad. Apart from people like Chris and Gigi, who allowed his children to go to school here. Yes.
Not
even when they go abroad, he brought them back to come and school. I told him, it's a very unusual, stubborn man. The children were over there. He brought them. I said, you will school here. Because whether we like it or not, our people will be brought up in line with our culture if they schooled here. You can spank your child, but there is an Ivorian footballer who spanked his child, and his football career ended because he went to jail for beating his child. If I beat my child, I can't go to jail.
You are in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, nobody will send me to jail. I will beat if you misbehave. I will beat you
Let me quickly pick this caller. Festus from Ikorodu is calling us. Thank you for staying with us, Festus.
Good evening, sir. Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Yeah, my contribution, I'm Festus calling from Ikorodu. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, my contribution is that if you look at our president's body language, he doesn't react to most of the issues. Yes, sir. I am calling. I say my contribution is that if you look at our president's body language, he doesn't respond to issues.
Okay, let me just take that.
He doesn't.
It doesn't respond to you. Yeah, you've made your point. Thank you, Festus.
So 5 months is enough time to respond to a strike. 5 months is enough. I mean, you can't use that to justify what's going on.
Something you were saying that you can't go to jail for.
Huh? Yes, Omar Ben Salah.
Your children.
He was the best Ivorian player when we were struggling to qualify for the 1994 World Cup. They beat Nigeria 2-1. He was the hero of that match. Then he beat up his son. He ended up in jail and his career ended. I double dare any of my 3 sons to misbehave. It will take serious begging by their mom for them not to get the spanking of their lives. I double dare them. They know. When the father comes up, you have been misbehaving before you step into your house. And it's the way my own father taught me. Once you step in, they know that
Same, yeah.
the ruler of the house has come. So some of those things that your mom could condone.
Exactly.
You know?
I think Baba Kolade told you to use to spank you.
Seriously.
So-
Seriously. The day he marked his 80th birthday, I regaled the audience with stories of how he used to beat me. And at that time, I hated him. But I didn't know that he was bringing me up properly. Today, I'm grateful for the way I was brought up. I'm very, very grateful. I've said it before on this program that to have two teachers as your parents, a child will see that as the ultimate misfortune. Because the mother is beating you, your father is beating you. In those days, parents will send their stubborn children, when they misbehave, they'll take you to the teacher.
You'll be trepidating.
Children fear
afraid.
teacher more than their parents.
You'll be afraid.
Now, me, both of my parents, teachers. So where do you, they don't need to take you to anybody. They are the ones who will serve you justice. You know, serious beating to reset your errant brain, to teach you a lesson. That's the way it should be. So I praise, at least, even if his own colleagues in the ESCO did not allow their children to go school here, even if some of his colleagues, at least you can give him credit for that.
At least
You
can't keep generalizing. If you see anybody that's like,
they will assume that everybody is like that.
We are actually ruining the public education system if we continue to do this way. Like he said, how many people can afford to send their children to this private
the
schools?
statistic he gave, that
Yes,
5%,
no,
that
it's
means
a fact.
these private universities cannot
No,
take
no,
care.
It's a
for-
fact now.
Some parents can't pay even jam for.
Exactly.
Yeah, a
The
lot.
states are still paying WAEC fees.
Some can't
So
even
are
send
those
their
the
children
people- are
to
they the people
private
who send-
schools,
Yeah.
except the mushroom private
Are they the
schools.
people who now send them to universities where they will pay 800,000? How many people can afford that in a session?
All right.